There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It's our first Coach Basics 2 call, our CB2 call. And I'm super excited that you could all get on the call tonight. I met yesterday with somebody from corporate. His name is Kim, and he came into town not because of me, but because of Alyssa. And I think she's about to hit Superstar Diamond, which is pretty amazing. And of course, Melanie also lives in the area, and she's the #1 coach and all that. So anyway, but I had the opportunity to have a few minutes with him, and it was really timely because it was the same kinds of, talking with him was the same kinds of things that we were going to talk about tonight anyway, but it kind of helped me get a new spin and a new perspective on it. So I'm excited. I was excited enough that I actually made up a little PowerPoint for our call tonight. So I'm going to screen share with you, and then I just also added into the group some documents that we were talking about with weekly to-do lists and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that as well. But let me just do a screen share here. Okay. Wait a minute. I gotta move that over. There we go. So there we go. Yes. Okay, so here we are. So the first thing, though, I wanted to talk about before I talk more about that is somebody, actually was Sarah, and I'm not sure if she's on the call because now I can't see everybody anymore, but she really wanted to know, is Summit worth it? Because it's because it costs money. And then also we have Super Saturday coming up, and of course it's not as much money, but some of you may have to travel to get there. And the Super Saturday here in Pittsburgh, it does cost $30, and then if you want to stay in a hotel and all that kind of stuff, and kind of weighing your if it's worth it to you or not. And I just wanted to say, for me, that events are so important because they are just filled with aha moments. I think they're completely worth it. I think live events, there's just something about being in person, being surrounded by all these other people that have the same goals as you, that can maybe speak to you in a different way than maybe you were thinking, or maybe, you hear me speak often and maybe you're not totally relating to what I'm saying, but you hear somebody else and you're like, that's the person I want to follow, or whatever. Or maybe it's just, the person beside you. Maybe it's not even the speaker, but I've met some amazing people that have not a part of our team in any way, that we've connected, and then we've become success partners, or maybe we just filled each other in and shared across stories or whatever. So the bottom line is, if you're wondering if events are worth it, I say 100% they are. So whatever you can do to get there, it's just that those are the times when you really refresh yourself, you get renewed about it. You kind of hear live these amazing stories. Often at Super Saturday and at Summit, they tell these amazing transformation stories where there's not a dry eye in the room. If you've never been a part of a live workout, I know they have them at our Super Saturdays here in Pittsburgh, and it's just, it's just cool to be in that atmosphere where everybody's got the same goals. Because in our daily lives, there aren't very many people. We work so much on the computer. We work so much, a little bit by phone, maybe if you're doing fit clubs, you have a little bit of interaction with people, but there's so much that you just don't get if you're not right there and in person with other people. And also, it's especially for Super Saturday and Summit, even, all those things aside, you just get to be with our team in person, which is amazing, because, you're kind of like, are you more than just this head that talks on the screen? Like, we're live people, we have families, we have other things going on in our lives besides Beachbody. So my opinion, 100%, it's worth it. These are just a little collection of pictures that I just threw together from some of the events that I've been to. Summit. Melanie did a retreat last year. Well, one in the spring and one in the fall of last year. And we did live trainings and workouts and stuff like that. And it just, whatever you can get to, it's worth it. So I just wanted to touch on that for a second. And then maybe at the end, if everybody wants to chime in about that, other people that have gone to events too, you can certainly do that. And it's also, by the way, I just want to say too that Super Saturday is a great time to bring in somebody who's not a coach yet, but maybe is thinking about it, or a great time to bring in a brand new coach that just signed on, because it's really a time where they get to kind of feel the momentum and feel the energy of the room and kind of feel your energy and all that stuff. And it's just something, like I said, that you can't get on a call like this, and you can't get it, certainly you can't get it just from reading something on Facebook or whatever. So that's my opinion about events. I hope that answers Sarah's question if she's on here, but but anyway. So this is the other piece that I wanted to talk with you about tonight, and it will all tie together with what we were originally going to talk about. But let me just move us over here. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Anyway, so the number one question is in this whole business is, what is your why? And you probably have heard that before. I know I've heard it a couple of times, and each time it's sort of like, is that really important? Or like, I don't know, because I want to help people or whatever. But no, it's so much more important than that, because in this business, you will have days and times, and you probably had them already, being that you've all at least been through the Coach Basics, where you're like, is it worth it? Am I going to keep doing this? I don't know. And the bottom line is, your why needs to be strong enough to carry you through those moments, and also to help you have focus on what it is you're really trying to achieve. And just as a little whatever side note or whatever, that just helping people, that's not a strong enough why. It has to be more than that. So when I was talking with Kim yesterday, I was asking him for some examples about what other people might say or how they might answer this question. And basically, the more specific you can be, the better. So he was actually, I think, giving me an example of his own why, which was that when he was growing up, his dad had to work all the time and he wasn't very present for him. And so he wanted to, number one, be able to have a job where he could be more present in his own kids' lives so that they could experience a different kind of parenting than he experienced. And number two, he really wanted to have his house paid off by the time he was in his mid-40s. And that's a pretty strong why. I mean, it certainly makes it so that Beachbody is the means to the why instead of the why in and of itself. And that, so that's got me thinking. I don't think it's, for me, it's not perfected at this point, but it's certainly something I think about quite often. And I just want to also throw out there before I do want to tell you a little bit more about my why, but I also just want to throw out there that your why can shift a bit and it can change a bit. And maybe, as your family dynamics change or whatever, maybe it's a different, and that's okay. It's not something that has to be exactly the same in 5 years or even in 1 year or whatever, but it does need to be there, whatever it is. And that will help you. Before I will tell you mine, but that will help you get focused. And I found this today and I really loved it. Wait, let me move us over. Maybe over here. There we go. That it will help you when you really understand your why. Then you can really get focused, which is finding your passion and organizing your team as you all grow your own teams, committing to something, and then utilizing a mentor, suspending your disbelief, which I love that phrase, suspend your disbelief, which is basically throwing out the door that any, excuses, any can'ts, any I'll never get there, whatever, suspend your disbelief that you can do it and you will do it, which I love. Anyway, so this is what I just kind of, I don't want to, bore anybody with my own story, but basically I've been thinking about my own why, and I think a lot of you know, but if you don't, I was an oncology social worker before becoming a Beachbody coach, and so I worked with people living with cancer, and particularly I worked with parents, like moms in particular, who had cancer, and I worked with their children and their families. And I ran support groups, and I ran some groups with just the parents in the group, and I ran some groups with just the kids and whatever. But so there were lots of moments in there that were touching and heart-wrenching, and some that were beautiful and wonderful and whatever. But this one story of this one mom stands out the most to me, and I think this is kind of what convinced me to do something else. And I really think that this is part of my why, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. So this one mom, her name's Jennifer. She came in and she had a child a little bit younger than my youngest son. She was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, even though she never smoked a day in her life, a very rare disease, and she was diagnosed when her son was 6 weeks old. So it was this terribly awful, sad story. And she did die eventually, but she made it through her son's first birthday, which was very, very important to her. And they took a trip to Disney World. And but she had a very, very, what do I want to say? A very painful and hard death in the end. And just I saw her through that. That was part of my job, and I saw her family through that. And there were some moments in there where that all she really wanted was more time with her son, and all she really wanted was to create memories with him, so that he would, no matter what happened to her, he would have some memory with her. And so anyway, for me, I don't want to I don't want to keep going because I'll just start bawling. But anyway, for me, that whole idea of my why is to have this time and space with my children, so that no matter what the outcome is with life, that we have these, memories, and we have this time and we make the most of it. And when I worked in that job, I worked evenings and I worked Saturdays. And I was about to miss out on so much of my kids' lives. And doing this job on our own time, in our own, with our own flexible hours and whatever, just allows the possibility to create much more memories than I would have been able to in my other job. And I kind of feel like for me doing this job, it's kind of honoring those moms that I worked with that aren't able to be with their children now, or the ones that are going through a lot and maybe can't fully be present to their children or whatever. But anyways, so that's kind of the why that is working in my brain, about kind of wrapping around my head about why I do this. So for me, Beachbody I believe in the products, obviously, I believe in the company, but for me, it's the means to getting to be able to spend more time with my family. So anyway, so for whatever that's worth, that's kind of my direction with the why. And it's worth, I think, thinking about it and getting to a place where it feels very powerful to you, and it maybe brings something, brings some big emotion for you. And that's how you kind of know you're getting closer to figuring out what your why is, if you are trying to figure it out for yourself. Okay, so that's the number one thing. Moving on then. So you got this big, powerful why. And then the second thing is, okay, well, so let's say, carrying my why a step further, I want financial freedom so that my family can create these memories by, not having to worry about bills, and not having to worry about college, and not having to worry about those things. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do things. I want us to be able to just pick up and go and whatever. So that's my long-term goal, right? But in the meantime, we need to have these short-term goals. And for everybody in this group, that's why I was trying to make it so that you all also create these short-term goals. We all need them, because just like in our fitness challenge groups, like when somebody wants to lose 100 pounds, they need to have the shorter-term goal of losing 2 pounds or 3 pounds, or creating a meal plan, or whatever it is, in order to eventually get to the 100-pound loss. And the same for us. So we make these long-term goals, but we really need to also make short-term goals so that we can have some reassurance that we're getting somewhere, right? So if you haven't already, or even if you have, just make sure that you have these short-term goals in place, like hitting SC5 every month, or getting to Emerald by such and such a date, or getting to Diamond by such and such a date, or signing 2 coaches every month, or making X amount of dollars this month and X amount more next month, or whatever it is. And these things are going to need to be updated all the time, every week, or maybe even every day updated, but they need to be in place. Which brings me to the next one, number 3, where we control the controllable. And I think this is where a bunch of us in this group, just in having talking with the leaders of the group and whatever, and talking with some of you, this is where I think a lot of us get stuck, that we do the things in our business that we can control and that we know we need to do first, before we do anything else. And that's why I was asking you all if you had a timer, because I really am going to talk more about this too when I jump off the PowerPoint and show you the to-do list and stuff. But I think what happens, at least I know for me, I'll only speak for myself here, is I wake up some mornings and I think, okay, I got to jump on Facebook, and there's I'm not kidding you. Sometimes there have been days when I have like 35 messages and I just think like, okay, well, let's just jump in with that and get started. And then, like half the day goes by and I think I didn't even get anything done that I thought I needed to do or that I wanted to do or whatever. What am I even doing? And then it just like kind of feels like I didn't get anything done. So basically this was kind of the direction we were going in the group anyway, but after having talked with Kim yesterday, he actually says there should be 8 to 10 specific tasks that you're working on, and that you should do those first before you do anything else. So before you even, this is going to be my goal, before I even get on Facebook, I want to do this certain amount of tasks that I know will help me with my short-term goals that we just talked about, that will eventually lead me to my long-term goal, and do that first before I even open up Facebook and get lost in there. And we'll, like I said, we'll talk more and we have more specifics about what those 8 to 10 things could be. Other coaches on our team and in other teams have something they call Power Hour. And if you haven't seen that list yet, we can certainly make that available. I know for me and for some other people that I've talked to, having the Power Hour, the way it's set up, doesn't make sense with the way my brain works. So I was kind of shifting my focus to think about having a power week versus a power hour. So the power hours we're working like invite 3 people to your next challenge group, start new conversations with 2 people, the non-beach body, and there's like a list of basically of 10 things to do. But for me, I like to do like 25 invites on one day instead of doing 3 invites over the course of 5 days or whatever, 7 days or something like that. So anyway, so that's why I just made it. In my own brain, it seems to work better to set out a specific day where I do all of my inviting, and then a specific day where I do all my new conversations and whatever. So anyway, but it doesn't matter. Whatever works for your brain, pick away and go forward with it. Okay. And then, okay, so once we have done that, so we've developed a why, a very powerful why with long-term goal. And then we do setting the short-term goals, and then we do this focused work time. Then the last thing here is to be fully accountable. So what I'd really love to do is try and help everybody find a success partner that will really help you stay accountable to your goals. And I have a few success partners. I mean, I've had a few since the start of my coaching business, and it's been incredibly helpful to me. But it needs to be somebody who can be real and be honest with you, so that you can focus on each step. But this, aside from that piece of it, you can actually certainly be accountable to yourself with the goals that you set out. And I love this concept, this win the day. This was something that Kim said yesterday. And it's the idea that every day is an opportunity to celebrate the littlest things that we do, whether it's sticking with the tasks that we've set out, because it's so easy to get caught up in the negatives, like you didn't get anything done, or you see all these people. I know Thursdays can be particularly exciting, but they can also be particularly depressing because there's all these rank advancements announced. And if you didn't get where you wanted to be, or maybe it can be very challenging. But instead, if we're not focusing on that, but we're focusing on each day, winning just that day, winning the day, then we can start the next day new, set the new tasks, and then evaluate at the end of the day. Did I win the day? Yes or no? Great if I did. If I didn't, what do I need to do tomorrow? And start again. And this concept, again, I mean, the whole coaching business is so similar to our fitness groups, because that same concept could be applied to each and every one of our challengers. Did you win the day? Did you do what you accomplished to set out? Did you get your workout in? Did you stay true to your meal plan, etc.? And the same is true for our business. I mean, the same could be true for anything in life. Did you win this day, this step in the journey that we have going on? And then there's one more point that I took away from the meeting yesterday, and this has been really powerful to me. And I don't know if it will hit home to any of you, but I wanted to mention it. If you're dabbling around as a coach, like maybe you're kind of floating out there, maybe feeling overwhelmed, maybe you're not sure where to get started, maybe you're not sure how to move forward, then perhaps you're not playing to your your individual strengths, and we've each got them, right? So I feel like my strengths are probably this social work background, this kind of need and desire to help people with emotional stuff and whatever. There are certainly people out there on our team. All of us on the team have strengths that we can play to, and they're all different and they're all unique and they're all amazing. So trying to, copy exactly somebody else, it won't work. It has to be you and your strengths. And I hope that each of you on here can think about what your individual strengths are. Maybe it's one-on-one stuff. Maybe it's, whatever it is. And maybe it's organization. Maybe it's finding people. Maybe it's doing things live and in person. Maybe you love Pinterest, or maybe you love blogging, or whatever it is. But if you feel like you're dabbling, then perhaps you aren't really playing to your strengths. There are so many ways to be successful in this business. You look at the top coaches and they're not the same, which is amazing, which means that we all can be successful. There are so many people out there to help, and there are so many ways to help. And it's really a celebration of that. So whatever your strengths are, you just got to play them and you got to use them to make this business successful. So anyway, I found these quotes here. Use your strengths and do what you love, and do work worth paying for, that solves a problem or helps others. And then I had to throw this Disney one in there because, I think you all know we were just there, but do what you do so well that they will want to see it again and bring their friends, which I love, because I think that really is meaningful. So you put your energy and your time into helping one person, and then you help them so well that they'll want to do it again and they'll bring their friends, and that's how you'll grow and grow and grow. So that's it for that. I'm going to exit out of there. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you, so going back to this idea of having focused time where we want to work the business, and keeping in mind that, again, we each have our own strengths and we each have our own way of doing things, and we can't copy each other simply because, again, we each have our own strengths. It seemed like across the board, our team feels like maybe we're kind of floating around. We're not quite sure what to do. We're not quite sure how to focus. So what I did was I think Terry posted a list of her to-dos. I found some other people's things, my own things, whatever, and I kind of put them all together. And I just posted this in the group, so you'll have total access to it. But anyway, this is what I did. I tried to put a bunch of different tasks in here, and I was trying to categorize them and whatever. And I was thinking in my head, how often should we be doing this? This is for me too, by the way, trying to get myself organized. How often should we be doing it? And I came up with this thing and whatever. And then I just thought, okay, so I took that and then I made it into a to-do list. And I thought, part of my issue, like I was telling you before, is that I wake up, I open up Facebook, I jump into the messages. And I'm gonna actually challenge all of us, myself included, to stop that and instead start the day like this. And again, this is just an example. I mean, you could try it this way if you want, but I would highly encourage you to, you probably have some idea already what you're doing that's wasting your time, what you could be doing more of that would really be worth your time. But anyway, so I'm just suggesting these things on Mondays. Actually, every single day, I'm suggesting you start out this way, planning ahead, taking 10 minutes at the beginning of the day to map out what your day is going to look like. What do you need to schedule in first? What things are going on? What time do you have to work your business? And so on. And then I'm going to suggest, I really hear from all the top coaches, and I can speak from my own experience, that the days that I start my day with some kind of personal development, my day goes so much better. And you get a post from that, right? So you just take some notes on whatever you're reading or whatever you're listening to, take some notes on it, find an amazing quote and a picture, and you've got a post for the day or the morning or whenever you feel like posting it. And then, wait, I'm just gonna hear feedback. I'm just gonna try and mute. I can't do it. Okay, anyway. So that would be my suggestion. Just even 10 minutes of personal development would be amazing. Okay, then on Mondays, listen to the wake up call. I'm going to suggest doing those. I don't know if you know, I should make a note to post this in our group too, that there's customer tracking follow-up. So it really is helpful to, when you get a customer, to follow up with them to make sure they're liking everything and whatever. And then it's just really courteous to tell them that their Shakeology is coming due around like day 25 before their 30-day, so that they don't get a bill that they weren't expecting on their credit card and whatever. So I'm just going to suggest that every Monday you check ahead and see, this is what this one means. You check ahead and see who Shakeology is coming due that week, and just send them a quick message. It also is a great opportunity to talk about coaching and discount coaching, but that we could talk about that another time. Then anyway, then there's this idea that I'm having in my head about branching out from Facebook, and this may not be for everybody. But for me, I'm thinking like Pinterest, maybe Instagram, blogging, whatever. So I'm just suggesting that if you want to think about something not Facebook, before you get on Facebook, that you might want to dabble in, or maybe you have a special thing that template that you're coming up with, or whatever, something. Of course, working out, drinking Shakeology, and then posting in the groups, checking in your challenge groups. To the best that you can, I'm suggesting, highly suggesting, recommending that you track everything, where your customers are coming from, what conversations you're having, as best you can. Check into our group and other groups. And then I do want to talk about this before our call's over, Facebook lists that we'll talk about in a second, and then answer messages within 24 hours. And I put in here, use a timer, because I just really feel like, for me, sometimes I have to do, like, literally set the timer for every 15 minutes, have it go off, where I do a check. Am I on task, or did I start watching that video that somebody posted in Facebook? And I literally still do that today. Like I got caught up, somebody posted something, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? This is work time. Okay, so anyway, so then Tuesday, I'm just going to run through this real quick in case there's anything that doesn't make sense. Tuesday, same thing. Start off planning your day ahead of time. Reading personal development. Then it's super important, as you guys get to Emerald, and some of you are Emerald, that you'll start getting leads, and that will be amazing, and you'll want to check in with them and make sure that you have that on your calendar to do. I have check in with past challengers, because even once the challenge is over, you still want to make sure that you're in touch, because those people could become coaches. They could be amazing referral sources. We're going to do team calls on Tuesdays, work out, have your Shakeology, and then do those daily things, check in with the groups, tracking, blah, blah, blah. Wednesday starts off the same, and then maybe you're doing something special interest thing. I'm going to suggest, this is where I suggest doing it all in one day, but you could do however you want. But maybe on Wednesdays, you start 10 new conversations with people that's not related to Beachbody. Just, hey, how's it going? I'm so glad we're connected. I saw that super cute picture of your kid. I saw you went on vacation, whatever. Building relationships. And then post in the groups, blah, blah, blah. Then Thursday, I have create a meal plan. This may not be for everybody if clean eating isn't your thing or whatever, but if it is, maybe take some time to find some new recipes that you're going to try, and maybe do a post about it or whatever. We're going to keep having our calls, although of course not next week on Thanksgiving, but we'll keep having our calls on Thursdays for a bit here. And then I might suggest on Thursday that you also do some kind of direct post about the next group coming up. And if that's a free group, do a post about that. Or if that's a challenge group, do a post about that. Or if that's a coaching opportunity, do a post about that, whatever. And then do all those daily things. On Fridays, maybe you want to check your leads again and send out emails to them. And then this was Terry's suggestion, to do all your direct invites through personal messaging on Fridays. Because some people who aren't on Facebook every day like we are, go on Facebook on the weekends. So maybe instead of doing 3 invites per day, let's say you do 25, or maybe for beginners, maybe you want to do 10 or whatever. Set some goal for yourself and send out a bunch of invites to whatever group you just posted about the day before. So you could start off that message saying, hey, did you see my post? I'm so excited about it. I thought of you, blah, 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 whatever. And then for me, I feel like it's either Friday or Sunday where you want to plan the week ahead. This is just in my head. So I put on here on Fridays, plan ahead your Facebook post schedules. So I posted that in the group too. And that's just kind of another kind of Excel thing where maybe you can think ahead. When do you want to post about working out? When do you want to post about meal? And then you can kind of check off and make sure your Facebook page kind of looks like, sorry, kind of looks like it's not just one big Beachbody ad, right? You want people to see that you're diverse and that you have all kinds of interests, and you want them to be interested in you and all that good stuff. And then I have on here Saturdays that you don't do anything, because I think it's so important that we take breaks and that we don't have Beachbody always all the time. I might suggest that you still check in your group real quick or whatever, or post in the group that you have to post in, answer a message or two or whatever. But anyway, and this may not work for you again. Maybe you want to take a different day off or whatever. Just suggestions. Okay, so Sunday, planning ahead for the day, planning ahead for the week. What's your week going to look like? Read your personal development. And then I think this is really important that you check in personally with each and every one of your current challengers. Make sure that, you know, especially if they're not posting in the group, but even if they are, maybe they have specific concerns that they're not comfortable posting in the group. And just really providing good customer service. Particularly to all the groups that are closing. So you want to, you know, see if they had a good experience, if they want to roll into another group, maybe they want to start coaching, whatever. Pay special attention to the groups that are closing. And then you might want to do some more posts, another post about a group that you have coming up, maybe some more, maybe you had some interest and you want to follow up and do some more direct invites to a group coming up, and then all those other things. So anyway, there's probably things that I'm missing, but I just thought this would be a nice start to a checklist. And this is posted in the CB2 group. You can, you know, I would suggest copying it into your own Google Drive file, and then you can play with it and move things around. Maybe you know that Saturday is actually a really good day to work for you, but you know, Tuesdays are awful and whatever. So you get the idea, but it's just to give you some outline of how you can organize your time so that when you go to work on this business, you're working, and when you're not working, you're the computer and the phone and everything is off, because you know you've gone through your checklist and you feel good about it, and you win the day, which is my new favorite saying. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here so we can get to some questions. I'm going to unmute you all so we can talk here. I guess I should let you unmute yourselves if you want to. Keep unmuted. Okay, so what questions do you guys have, or what comments do you have about all that?
I do agree, Kathleen, about the events, about going to like the Super Saturdays, like how important those are, just because like, I don't know, I know for me, like it just always like revives me and refocuses me, and it's just really great to be around the team and like I finally got to meet Terry, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody else, and it's just really awesome being around people that have the same passion as you, and that group workout is so much fun for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, do you guys have other questions or anything you wanted to talk about? No, okay. Well, so my next question to you is what is your next plan for what's your next post? I know we have Thanksgiving next week, but what are you guys inviting people to? What's the next I know I think most of you on here posted your goals, which is awesome. But what's the next thing that you're going to start posting about? I'm going to out-silence you, so I'll just wait here. I ran groups, so I know how this works. I can out-silence anybody.
Okay, Nadine is planning on doing a refresh group December 1st. So I was actually trying to write up something personally to help invite people in my circle to maybe be thinking about that for after Thanksgiving, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Nadine, are you working off a template for that group, the refresh?
Yeah, actually, we did this in the summertime. So I'm just pretty much using what I had used back then. And actually, I'm in the middle of a challenge group right now where we started like 3 weeks ago. And I told them that we would, if they wanted to do the refresh, they could do it after Thanksgiving. So I'm actually, any new people that I get, I'm just going to put them in that group that's already going. And because that's the group I'm doing it in anyway. So they'll just be additions to that group.
Gotcha.
But do you want to see my template?
I would love to.
Like that portion of it, the refresh portion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to. I think that's a great idea.
All right, what about everybody else? What's the next? Is everybody doing something December 1st? Yes, yes. Cool. So I might suggest, even though it's only the, whatever it is, the 20th, that now's a good time to start. I think some of you have already, but start posting about it and then start crafting some posts around, whatever your group's going to be. So, if it's going to be a clean eating thing or the refresh thing or whatever, just kind of start talking about it. And not every post needs to be an actual advertisement for the group, of course, but just, kind of leading people up to it, getting people interested, knowing that they can turn to you and whatever.
I think one thing that was helpful for me this week is I listened to the Monday call, and she was saying that you really need to put more yourself in your post, that a lot of the stuff, that the recipes and the cute pictures we put up for inspiration are really considered junk mail, and start putting more personal things in your post about what you're wanting to do in these groups and about yourself and how it's affected you and that kind of thing. I haven't been doing that enough. So that call was really beneficial to me.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's just the wake up calls are so powerful because they're these people that have gone through what we're going through, and they're kind of on the other side, and it definitely, there's always something to get out of those calls. They're amazing.
I agree. I feel like I learned the majority of what I know through like the different calls, whether it's with their team or, Melanie's Monday night call or the wake up calls. Like, I feel like that's where I learned a lot of what I knew.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, did anybody have anything else that you wanted to get to tonight?
I guess I have a quick question. I have a challenge group starting, so I have one now going, and then I have another one I want to start on the 1st, so I've kind of started advertising, and I'm going to advertise it in my current group. So I'm doing a great meeting group currently, so I put it out there tonight. I have one girl that's currently in my challenge group that wants to go into this next group, the Healthy for the Holidays group. But my question is, if I don't get a lot of people wanting to join the Healthy for the Holidays group, is it a good idea to do like another team meeting group during the holidays, or am I just kind of bouncing all over the place and thinking about the rest at once? Or is it better just to focus on the one thing and kind of go from there?
I don't know if anybody else wants to chime in. I know for me,
The question was kind of mumbled for me. I'm sorry. Could you repeat it, Kathleen? Or
yeah, I'll try and repeat it. Tell me if I got it right, Kristen. So she's advertising for a Healthy for the Holidays group in her current challenge group, and then started posting about it. And you're wondering if you don't get enough people for it, or if it doesn't go, should you do another free group? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Because I have a clean eating group that's free right now going on that a lot of people have taken interest in, and it's been working out well. But obviously, it's different when you're trying to get people to come into, a challenge group. So I'm just wondering, just to kind of build a foundation, if they don't have a lot of people take interest in doing another challenge group, is it worth running another free group again, just to kind of build those relationships?
So here's where I stand, and I would love for everybody else to chime in on that. But I would say I would go boldly forward with the challenge group, and even if you don't get the number that you're looking for, you can always team up with somebody else, because I think everybody's starting a group on the first. So I wouldn't back down from that. I would go full force with it. You know what I mean? And there have been very powerful groups that I've had with 4 challengers. You know what I mean, or whatever. So it's okay, and go for it. I think it's okay to do free groups once a month, but I wouldn't do more than that. Because yes, we want to provide value, but it's a business. So I don't think there's anything wrong with doing another free group in December, but I would not advertise at the same time. I think go forward with your challenge group. Maybe wait, a week or 2 or whatever. If you want to do another free group, sure, but that's my opinion. I don't know. Do you guys want to chime in? Anybody else want to say what you would do?
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I actually have a 21-day fixed group starting on the 1st also. So if you don't have enough people, you can always just join mine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I so far only have 1 challenger. I actually do have a couple more interested, Crystal, do you have anybody yet?
Not yet. I'm working on Gina.
Awesome. And but yeah, I would love for you to join. It's always nice getting different coaches in your group so you can see everybody else's perspective too.
Right.
So. I'll post an Inspiration Nation as it gets closer, if anybody wants to join in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. All right, what else? Other questions or anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I'm trying to push PIO for the next couple weeks and maybe start either a general group or a PIO group, maybe on December 1st. Just because, at 140, I'm like, you can't beat that for any challenge pack.
No, and with that, with the 3-day refresh, whatever they're calling that, I forgot.
Kickstart or something?
Kickstart, yeah. Seems like such a great idea. Cool.
I feel like, I don't know, since you guys are all on the phone, I feel like I do better just with the shorter 21-day fixed programs, but then I feel like I'm neglecting all those other awesome workout programs out there. So I'm having a hard time focusing on more than one workout program, I feel like I'm just advertising for 21-day challenges.
If it's working for you,
Yeah.
Don't fix what's not broken, or whatever that saying is,
Yeah. But I just hope I'm not leaving out a whole other population of people that I could be, working with.
Gotcha. I don't know. I think once you get in conversations with people, you could just find out what they're looking for, and if the 21-day fix fits, great. And if it doesn't seem like the best fit, then you got that whole other line of products. I don't know.
Yeah. Is anybody running a 30, 60-day group monthly?
We have a 30-day group that's going to end on on Wednesday. The Biggest Loser group is ending on Wednesday. And then they might want to keep going, or some of the people in there might want to keep going. I'm not sure. And then I just started a general hot for the holidays one on the 10th. But I don't think I'll start another general group in December. I'm actually thinking of shifting to just a clean eating Shakeology group. I'm not sure. Following this free group.
Okay.
Looking at my calendar. Okay, so anybody else have questions? Comments? Well, thanks for getting on. It's really nice to see you all. So yeah, so next week we won't have a call, obviously, on Thursday night. But I'm sure we'll talk in the group then. But either way, happy Thanksgiving. And I think most of you are. Rita, are you in Texas?
No, I'm in Mississippi.
That's right, Mississippi. So we'll have to figure out. Did you find if there's a Super Saturday near you?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay, so we'll have to find the link to Super Saturdays other places. Crystal, are you local to Pittsburgh?
No, I'm in Quakertown, PA. I'm on the other side of the state.
Okay. Did you find if there's a Super Saturday near you?
I have not even looked.
No, you haven't looked. Okay, so we'll figure that out. I'll make sure we post something because I know there were a lot of posts in there about the one in Pittsburgh. So people can get registered. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for getting on, you guys. It's good to see you.
Yes, have a good night, everybody.
Hey, Shannon, can you stick around for a second?
Sure.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Good night.
Bye.